Are we live?
We are live.
Are we
Hello,
live?
hello.
We're live. We're live.
We are live.
Hey, hey, hey.
We are coming to the room. This is the conversation y'all been waiting to have. If you
Right.
just last week,
Last month, waiting a whole
last
month.
month, God, it feels like last week.
I know, right? Come on in the room. There's a comment you have pinned to the screen.
Do I? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
There we go.
There we go. Hey, hey, hey. Y'all want to do some quick introductions?
Yes, let's do intros.
All right. Hey, hey, hey. For those who don't know me, my name is Malika, and I'm a money coach. Through my company, Fabulous Financials, I help women learn how to invest in the stock market so you can work less, retire early without worrying about money. I am looking forward to this conversation tonight with my money sisters. I am excited about giving my 1 cent to contribute to our 4 cents.
There we go.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. And I can go next. Hello, welcome everyone. My name is Chiante, and I am a financial coach as well. And I'm the founder of Dollars and Change, and I support women with their day-to-day money management, helping them to save more, pay off debt, and create more flexibility and fulfillment from using their money.
Love it. All right, I will go next. I'm Coach B. I'm ADHD money coach of Young, Rich, and Rooted. I help the 4 times exceptional, gifted Black women with ADHD have a better relationship with their money by helping them use tools that work with their beautiful neurodivergent brain and not against them.
Hey B, can you back up just a little bit?
Camera is blocking me.
The
Yes,
4 cents thing is covering your beautiful face.
There you go.
There we go.
Let's see. Y'all want to see me?
Yes, we want to see you. Coach
Wait,
Emily.
there you go. I'm about to cover your face again. All right.
Coach Emily.
Good, everybody. I feel like can you guys hear me? Am I skipping in and out?
No, you sound
No,
good.
no, you're fine.
You're good. You having a delay on your end?
Okay. I don't know what's going on. But my name is Emily Macklin. I'm Coach Emily. I am a financial coach, and I help six-figure, high-earning women who find themselves stuck in the paycheck-to-paycheck lifestyle. I help them first and foremost create more financial safety, and secondly, start to live and use their money in a way that helps them get out of the paycheck-to-paycheck lifestyle. So that is me. I use practical and faith-based money strategies to help them do just that. I'm excited about tonight. I might get canceled tonight, okay?
It's gonna be a little spicy, huh? Just a little spicy.
I might get canceled tonight.
Our topic is high value men. What are Black women attracted to? What's attractive to us? I think to get started, we should first define what is a high value man. I know that's a trending term that's been going around lately, but what is it?
I want to kick this off because I need the audience to get context about why this topic grinds my gears. I was listening to a couple of debates on social media, and these men were talking about if a woman wants a high value man, blah, blah, blah. I proceeded to read the comments, and what it appeared is what a lot of times they mean by high value men, and Kevin Samuels in particular, I'll never forgive him for giving them this word in their vocabulary, is high income man. And I quickly got into those comments to help them clarify that values and incomes are not the same thing. A high income and high value are not equal to each other. So to me, high values are relative. They align with my values. So what is valuable to me may not be valuable to you, Malika, to you, Emily, to you, Shianti, to anybody who's watching us right now. And so I hate this term high value because it's used so terribly, and it's usually used to tear women down or tear men down. And I don't like it. So that's my 1 cent.
So how
high
does,
value.
so did Kevin Samuels term make the term popular?
Yeah, I would say.
And how did he define it? Is it that people are misinterpreting the term, or is that how he defines it? He defines it as high income?
Six-figure men, and then there's some things that go with it. But the largest thing is six-figure men, and he's not talking about men who make $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 a year in this conversation. He's talking about women who want specifically men who make at least 6 figures, but he's saying high value men. And so it's created this terminology where men and women are referring to themselves as high value. And I think we're having completely different conversations.
Yeah. So he does. So I've heard of Kevin Samuels before, but I really never watched any of his stuff. And I know I didn't really even know who he was like that. So I had to do a little recon to figure out who he was. And I did watch one, just one YouTube video that was about how he defined a high value man. And he did say he did not coin the term necessarily. It's a term that's been out there, but it seems like he has popularized it because there's a lot of controversy about it or whatever, and people had different opinions about it over the last few years, and kind of made it more mainstream, particularly I guess in our communities and everything like that, because he was a Black man that was talking about this type of stuff. And he did, the video I saw was about from 3 years ago or so. I think it was 2020, so late 2020. And he did define six things in that, it's a 10, 11-minute video where he defines these are the 6 things that define a high value man. I was actually about to look them up right now, so I have to call them out because I don't remember. But one of the first one that he did talk about was money. And he also talked about longevity of how long you have that money, kind of basically who you surround yourself with. Like if you're around other high value men, a lot of times they're part of their network, your kind of usefulness, your value to a group of people. And I can't remember what the other one was, but it's kind of that kind of thing. When I was listening to him give I'll be honest, when I was listening to him give his definition of high value, it's his opinion. He says that very clearly. This is my opinion. And I wasn't triggered by it just because he was just defining the term in his own way. But I am totally with that I think the value, high value is not like a generic term. I think value is very relative to somebody's personal definition of what they value. So you viewing a man as valuable is based on the values that you have and the things that you would like from your partner. So yeah, I'm gonna look up the video while I'll let you guys talk, just to actually say the 6 things that how he defines it. So let you guys go.
Okay.
Love it. We've got April Carter. Thank you for speaking on this topic. I knew y'all was ready to have this conversation.
Hello. Thank you for joining.
Hello.
So for purposes of this conversation, we're going to assume the definition that B mentioned, where people define high value because they correlate it to high income. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Right.
So
and we really wanted to have the conversation around what is it that we really want, because money is something that's important. We definitely need to have money as a consideration for the people that we date, but I think there are some values around money specifically. So money in itself does not necessarily mean, you could have a really wealthy man who's very manipulative and stingy, and there's lots of things that don't make making 6 and 7 figures mean anything. And so I would love to know what women really value in a man. That's not necessarily something that their bank account can pay for. You know what I mean?
I'm curious to know what the audience think of the trending topic, high value men, and what type of men are attractive to you.
Yeah.
Let us know.
says she has some trepidation about the title, but she's open-minded. What gave you some trepidation about this?
Yes, I'm curious. I think it's a conversation that can create a lot of tension, I think, in the comments when you see it.
And I'm kind of feeling it even here on the panel. I feel like we're all trying to wrap our brains around it in our thoughts that we have on it. At least I am. Because I'm like, And what gives me pause is I feel like an income is the baseline. Mm-hmm. So it's not a criteria that separates man A from man B. That's just the baseline, period.
Mm-hmm. I think when I was younger, I didn't place income high enough on my values. But I feel like it's beyond an income, like a number. It's more about their resourcefulness. Because I've seen people who make a high income and lose, let's say, their job, and it completely unhinged them, and they're not able to recover from that moment. So I feel like there are some things that go along with income that I'm looking for, but stability is important to women, and it says a lot about a person, their not just their profession, but the work that they put into their ability to earn income and manage that money.
Thank you, Shanti. Okay, so this gives me something to chew on. All right, 120K a year or 10K a month. I've had that income for 3 to 5 years. Group acceptance by other high value men. He has a network. He has visibility and utility. Okay, well.
Yeah, I can say
the fellas in the comments. They coming in
by his general definition of things. Like I was just like, okay, I can see if you were trying to define it, right? Like as a generic, broad definition, I wasn't totally put off by his definition.
Yeah, I like a lot of things in here.
I'm not opposed to that at all.
I think the issue always. I honestly have never seen this list. I never really followed Kevin Samuels either, but I do or have seen a lot of conversation around high value men in like just Facebook forums, IG forums, or whatever. But here's the issue: it's always focused on number one. These other qualities, which are reasonable qualities to expect in a man, they're never mentioned. Whenever you hear the high value conversation, in which I often overlook it, I'll be honest, because I've been out the game for a while. It's always focused on can the man, does he make 6 figures? Can he spend 6 figures on me? And that's why I always ignore this conversation, because it's kind of unreasonable. Which is why I'm probably gonna get canceled because of my opinion on all of this.
You won't get canceled.
That's what I'm saying. That's the only time I ever see this conversation. It's never focused on those other qualities, which are totally reasonable to me. Totally reasonable to expect.
So they only emphasize the first one, huh?
On both ends, the women and the men.
Yeah, and I think some of the controversy comes, I guess around some of Kevin Samuels stuff or whoever, the conversation in general, not just this high value versus high income, but it's also when I think there was conversations around women want this man that's this 6-figure man or this high value man, when the question was like, well, are you high value yourself, right? Like, so like you have this expectations of this man, but are you bringing that to the table as well? And I think some of what Kevin Samuels was saying or what has been said is that you're expecting these things when you're not even doing them yourself, and that is that congruent, right, for you to have this expectation or want this person when you
I agree with what Chanel. I agree with what Chanel just said. Said most of it's always superficial. And another reason why I hate the term high value, as a few of you have said, is we are all human beings. We all have high value. And using money to define whether one is higher than the other is just absolutely flawed and absolutely ridiculous, in my opinion. And that's why I never paid attention to this conversation, because of the way it's always framed is your value, as you mentioned. I think in some of the introductions, your value with this description is defined by your paycheck. It is defined by your net worth. And that's why I hated this term, because we're all human beings. We all are high value people. We're high value humans. We have all high value humans. And I hated the description placed on certain individuals just because of the money that they make. But maybe I misunderstood that was
that's exactly
the
how I
official
felt.
definition, because I hadn't heard it before tonight.
Yeah, well, what I said last time, if I value being sustained, like if the apocalypse happens right now, so you're going to value a man who can hunt, kill, and gather. Your values are going to suddenly magically be different. You're not going to care about their bank account. You're going to want to know that they can protect you and they can provide for you and they can feed you and they can build a house for you. Like, our values really depend on a lot of things. And so what's valuable to you is not valuable to me. We all have value, but what's valuable to me is unique to me. And I think that men, I think somebody said in the comments, like, men place a lot of value on their income.
Look at the last comment that multifaceted me said. It was like I think that's what it was. Like, I guess it was the delivery. Even in the video, the one video that I watched, I really wasn't put off by his delivery of it. I mean, because he said, like, this is just my definition. You may disagree, blah, blah, blah. I just wasn't put off that. Now, maybe if I keep watching more of his stuff, I might be like, right? He'll give a side eye, but that was that. I wanted to, Emily, you're talking about like a value of a person. And this crossed my mind too. I was thinking about it more in terms of like the worth of a person, like somebody's worth is infinite, so like, do you guys see a difference between the value and worth, or you kind of use those interchangeably?
I think I'm using them interchangeably. Like, I'm saying that everybody's worth something. Everyone has an innate value.
Yeah, I think.
As it relates to choosing a partner, I think there are some things you need to be honest about considering, and we cannot leave financial stability out the conversation. And too many single women have chosen men because especially Black women, we're told to, ride or die. Right. And be with you when you low. Right. And so we end up positioning ourselves for struggle. And that's not necessarily good. And for the man, I mean, if you're not in a good position financially, should you be spending a bunch of money trying to date somebody when you're trying to create your foundation as well? So I don't think that there's anything wrong with observing someone's financial positioning. But I think it's crazy to assume that I'm going to value you more just because you make six figures.
Yeah.
Malika, what you over there in deep thought?
I'm taking it all in. Yeah. I'm taking it all in because I don't think it's necessarily a person's worth or their self-worth. When I think of the word high value and I think of what's attractive to me, it's what I value and what's attractive to me. Am I attracted to a man that doesn't make any money? No. Now, I also can acknowledge that your values change over time. When I was 20 years old, we were both on the struggle bus. But this phase of life that I'm in now in my 40s, I'm financially independent. I've retired early. Am I dating a broke man? Absolutely not. But I also agree that the first of the 6 criteria shouldn't be the only emphasis when you are deciding what is attractive to you as a whole human. It's not just the money. When I think about what I'm attracted to, it's characteristics that if that man had those characteristics, he would never be broke anyway. I am attracted to men that are providers, that are naturally providers. That includes making me feel safe when I'm in his presence. I am attracted to men that are problem solvers. A man that can problem solve, a man that can think critically, he's never broke. You know what I mean? I'm attracted to men that can teach me something. a man that I can learn from, a man that can elevate my mindset. That type of man is never broke.
I'm getting goosebumps just hearing you describe it.
You know what I mean? So I'm listening to the conversation. I'm thinking about the term high value man in the 6 criteria. Would he be well connected? I don't know. Depends on his personality. He may be an introvert. I'm okay with that because I'm an introvert, you know? But my point is he's never broke. Because if you have those characteristics that I look for in a partner, it's like money is the baseline. It's the default.
Yeah.
So
I can see that. I do think from the characteristics you were describing, I think there is a certain mindset or a certain, like you said, resourcefulness or characteristics about someone that tends to lend to them having money, right? Like to them creating more money, to being resourceful, to up-leveling their skills, to whatever it is. That could then money will be kind of like just a byproduct of how they operate as a person.
Right. So I would never ask a man, how much money do you make? Or I would never be curious about his salary. That isn't even a question that would come to my mind. I can observe him enough to determine, is it a level that would be on par with my lifestyle? I can look at how he lives his life, not necessarily the material things, what he drives, the type of clothes he wears. Look at what I wear. Come on, y'all. I got a muumuu on. Listen, but what I'm wearing does not match my bank account. I promise you. So I'm not talking about the material things, but his lifestyle, right? What type of things do he do for fun? What type of organizations are he involved in? Does he travel often? Is he a world traveler, or does he only go to, and this is no shade, but in the travel community, there's a term we call the Black travel belt. It's the places where all Black people go to. We go to Jamaica, we go to Bahamas, we go to Cancun, we go to Atlanta, we go to Vegas. Does he travel outside of the Black travel belt? But it's more about the conversations that we're having, the terms that he's using, his experiences in life. Does he drink wine? Does he drink? How does he take his whiskey? It's certain things, certain experiences in life that's going to give you insight to discern whether a man is capable of being a provider. His personality will show you if he will protect you. You never have to have a conversation about salary to determine that.
Look, we have a lot of activity going on over here.
We do. Lots of questions.
Are they dragging me? Are they dragging me in the comments?
No. Well, we got one. He said he don't travel.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you this one. He said he don't travel, so he guess he not.
I never see. And here's the thing. I think this is high value is what you value.
Right.
It's
go back to the very beginning
definition,
right?
So for me to describe what I value, if you don't fit that criteria, that does not mean that you are not high value. One of the sisters I follow on social media, she says every pot has a lid. You just need to find the lid to your pot. You're just not someone I would be attracted to if you don't do those things. I would never date a man that didn't travel, ever.
Yeah. And this is why I think that there's a difference.
I think the issue with saying high value, it implies that someone is low value.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, this is why I think it's relative, though. Like, it's high value to me personally, or high value to Malika personally. That's why I don't think it's a broad. I mean, Kevin Samuels has that definition, but I don't think there's like a broad definition of high value. I do think it's very relative to what's high value to you.
Right. And it changes over time as you evolve.
Yes.
What's high value to you evolves over time. What I was attracted to at 20 is not the same thing I'm attracted to now at 40.
And I think you can't even have this conversation if you don't even yet know your values. And I think a lot of people are not really in touch with what they really care about. They know what society tells them they should care about, but they don't really know what they should care about. And that's why they're placing value on things they don't actually care about.
Right. So I like this conversation where the guy said, I guess I'm not high value because he didn't fit my criteria. I want to highlight something Chanel just said. I love to travel, but if I dated someone who didn't, that would be okay as long as he didn't expect me to stop traveling. See, that wouldn't be okay with me because when I say I love to travel, I mean literally, I can go to another country for 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
If he is not willing to travel, we wouldn't have a relationship because I stay abroad for months and months at a time.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not something I value, but it's no reflection on what you value or any gentlemen that are in the chat that don't travel.
Mm-hmm. Likewise, some people, prefer to have a partner with no children because they value their freedom. They value the ability to be flexible. They value things that, they realize they'd have to sacrifice if children come along with them. And so you have to know what you care about and make sure that the person that you're dating cares about the same things, because that's where you're going to spend your money. You're going to spend your money on mutual values.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. Yeah, there was some good stuff earlier in the
got
chat.
A lot of questions.
Let's go back some more. Just grab some of them that goodness up.
We're gonna try to go way back. Let me go back. I think there's a question.
Oh, wait, let's do the question you just highlighted.
Okay. We'll start with this one.
My question is, how likely are we to assess a human being's value in a healthy manner in the context of this white supremacist patriarchal caste?
Oh, something with the fire.
Sis bringing the fire with her comments. Woo!
She said, how can we decolonize our values?
Pretty much. That is exactly what she said. Okay, Miss Chanel.
Yay!
Wow. Yeah. So
address that.
No. Yeah. So when I think about this, I think it does go back to one, we have been conditioned, right, to think to what we are supposed to perceive as valuable. So I think a lot of this goes back to your own self-work and inner work to really get true to you about what it is that you value outside of what society says. So I think that's a lot of self-work first, which was what Coach B was implying. Doing that self-work, then you can assess for yourself whether somebody aligns to your values and their value to you. But yes.
Okay, Chiggy Bear. Second question now.
Matchmaking. We were matchmaking on our questions tonight. Matchmaking tonight.
Oh my gosh.
I think anybody has a point though, because a lot of times we, especially looking at social media and all this kind of stuff, a lot of times we place our value in these things that are really superficial. And so if you're using that as your barometer and your measuring stick, who are you really looking for? But if you do that personal work first to really get true to you, then you can better assess whether that person is in alignment with your values or not.
Yeah,
very true.
I do agree. It does require a lot of personal work. That I think when I think of the characteristics that I'm attracted to, it all boils down for me feeling safe. Do I feel safe in your presence? Do I feel like you will protect me if we were out in public and something popped off? Do you have the ability to protect me or make me feel safe no matter what? And that's probably a result of my lived experiences. I mean, not that I've ever been harmed by a man or anything, but that may be part of my lived experiences. So that's what I'm attracted to. And when I think about past relationships that leave good memories, it's because they made me feel safe.
I agree. I think that's probably one of the highest values of most women consistently is they're looking for safety. That we may articulate it in another way. So even when they're talking about money, the desire is for financial safety. They want to feel safe. And so I think that we're looking for emotional safety, physical safety, financial safety, spiritual safety. We want to know that we are okay. And when we do feel safe, men are this is another conversation that men are always having, talking about women, especially Black women, not being feminine or being masculine, right? And it's a lot of the times, especially for Black women, we're single moms. We have no choice but to be thinking, to be providing, to be doing all these things. And so we don't feel safe. So we have to be on our masculine energy to make sure that everything's taken care of. But when we feel really safe around a man, we love to fall into I love to be a mindless toddler with my man who I know is intelligent, who can think critically, who can do, you know what I mean? Like, I love to have the confidence that he can do these things, because then I get to just be soft. And we often don't get the opportunity to feel that way. So,
especially us Black women.
Yes.
Yeah. I think we want to feel soft. Like, I think, well, especially I think as you get older, maybe when you're younger, because you are like super independent, but I think as you get older and maybe start priority shift, or you just start to like value shift, like, I think you do want a space where you can feel soft.
Yeah. Right? That y'all summed it up perfectly. That's exactly why safety is important to me, because I have been in the driver's seat for so long.
Yes.
Of my life. I want to ride shotgun. I want to relinquish control. I want to exhale and just be.
Yeah.
You know, I never understood that title when I was younger. But I get it now. My whole self gets waiting to exhale. I was too young when that movie came out to understand the context.
Exactly.
Yeah, Malika, I was asking, do you feel like that has evolved for you over time? Like when you were younger, like it wasn't as important and it's grew in importance over time, or has that always been important to you?
Do you mean wanting to feel safe?
Yeah.
I think when I was younger, it's probably not even something I was aware of.
Right.
Because I was attracted to other superficial things or stupid, immature things.
Yeah.
It's definitely something that has evolved over time as my values evolved. And then also to connect it to finances. So in the title, I mentioned, in the description of my video, I mentioned that the partner you choose can influence your finances, right? So when you get to, well, let me back up. When you're choosing a partner, if you're not already financially secure, a lot of women are attracted to men that can give them that financial security, like Coach B said, right? But if you've been in the driver's seat your whole adult life and you get to a point where you are financially secure, that salary is no longer as important to you because you have the money yourself. But now you're looking for a partner, you're looking for other things aside from the money. So I say all that to say, I think it's something that I'm more aware of now because of how my life has evolved over time. And don't prioritize money as much anymore. It's now a default, just a baseline because of where I am in my life. So I can look for other things now.
That's a good point. That's a very good point. Speaking of,
I think a big.
Go ahead, Emily. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, I think just hearing you speak about what's important to you, you saying, "Hey, I got my own," that is not like, top of the list kind of thing. The conversations that I see, and I really think a big key to this is just a mature men and women themselves. Able to see beyond just finances or see beyond just the paycheck. I think the maturity level, I don't even think it has anything to do with age. I feel like it's a maturity level of the individual when it comes to who is qualifying what's high value and what is not high value. Because every conversation that I see online is always, and even some of these skits and things that go viral around, men taking women to the Cheesecake Factory, or men taking women on walking dates or something. The conversation is so negative around things like that. And I'll tell you, in my 20s when I was dating, I ain't had no problem with going to the Cheesecake Factory.
I still don't.
I see.
I like the Cheesecake Factory.
I know, and it feels quite ridiculous. It feels really immature to me. It feels really shallow to me. So again, I think it what's most important is the maturity level of the person or the individual who is making these demands on people's pocketbooks that they want to date.
Right. I think I agree with you. Every time I hear that conversation, it's frustrating to me because it just feeds a narrative, and we need more than like a man who's willing to. A man can spend a bag on you and be terrible to you and for you. And I don't like this idea that, he spent a lot of money on me on my date, and therefore that doesn't mean anything. that doesn't mean anything. There are men who will take the time to plan a very inexpensive date, and that can tell me that he's very creative, he's very thoughtful. You've got to really work outside. You know what I mean? There's a lot that can be said about a man who plans something that demonstrates that they thought of you, and it didn't necessarily have to cost a lot of money. I'm not looking at how much they spend on me as proof of what they will do for me as my partner in life, because them spending money on you on a date is not the same thing as them providing for you for your lifetime. Sometimes they're just goal oriented, you know what I'm saying? So and sometimes they're just doing it just to flex.
Some men with money, they know that's attractive to women, so they use their money to flaunt, to flex, to attract women, and they're not good people. They can be abusers, they can be essays, they can be all the things that you don't want in a partner, but they use their money to attract you and flaunt you because they think by default that's what most women want. Just one other thing I want to say before we move on, Emily, it was something you said after my statements. You said something about I have my own. I'll never say that. I will never ever tell a man I don't need a man because I got my own. Listen, he ain't got to know what I got. I ain't got my own. I ain't got nothing. That confidence is just quiet with me. Okay. I want to be a passenger seat princess, and that includes all the benefits.
There you go.
Just to be clear, but okay.
Yeah.
Good.
I heard that.
Yeah.
We got really. This is so funny. The sidebar conversations in the chat are making me giggle a little bit. Somebody trying to introduce somebody to travel. I love it, but we got a lot of questions, y'all. So I want to try to get through some more.
Chiggy, you talk about I'm the opposite. I'll have her thinking I'm broke.
Right. Because I know
Chiggy, they gonna drag you online. They gonna drag you.
Oh yeah.
But you know what? I kind of understand why men do that as well, because when you think about conversations of women talking about like, I'll only date a man who blah, blah, blah. And men want to know that you also want them for more than just their money, that you see something in them outside of their bank account. So I do understand men who have money who will not necessarily put it out there from the beginning because they really want to make sure you see that you like them for themselves.
Yeah. And April,
I would say you might just miss out on a man. When I first started,
what happened? I think it was an overlap.
Because I think it's kind of like when women don't have sex because they want to make sure the man has taken time to get to know them and likes them for themselves. Like, I think it's a similar logic in their minds of why they might delay gratification because they're trying to see what this person really cares about.
Yeah. I was saying April made a comment but saying same for women, some women that use their body to attract men. When you were talking about the conversation about men who use their money to attract women. So yeah, it can go both ways.
But Coach B, back to your comment a little bit. You were saying that men with money you were saying men with money will make it seem like they don't have money. Chiggy, I saw you in the comments because they don't want women to use them for their money. Mm-hmm. I have found I don't want to offend anyone when I say this. Just like we all have different definition of high value men and what we value, I think there's levels to this money game. Okay?
Sure.
There are men that are mid-range that probably have a little bit, and they don't want women to know they have money because they don't want to be used for their money. They are usually the men that are looking for the gold diggers, making sure she's not a gold digger. Men with real money don't care. They don't care. Men with real money want you to know they have money, and they're going to treat you like they have money from day one, because spending it doesn't matter. They have money.
So what's real money, Malika? Is there a dollar amount that where real money hits?
See, I don't want to get into that debate. All I'm saying is there's levels to this money game, and men with long money, I should say.
Oh, long money. Okay.
They don't
That's the
care
definition.
about gold digging.
Long money.
They don't care. And they don't usually use the term gold digger either. They don't care. They want you to know they have money.
I have know some women who have dated incredibly wealthy men, and they've said similar things. And most of the time, they're not American men. Also,
Possible, yeah. But trust me on that, lady.
I feel like you're skirting around, Malika. Like you got something else.
I'm just speaking. I'm speaking from experience, from dating these type of men, and also from experience of being in rooms with these type of men that's doing making the financial decisions and discussing financial strategies that are higher level, not men who make six figures from a job.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
And I can understand if you got to work 40, 60 hours a week to make your money, you don't want a woman. It does matter
a lot more.
You don't want a woman that's going to use you for it. You have to work so hard for it. But when you enter a different level of creating money, not earning money from a job, it's different. That's all I'm saying. It's
because
different.
it's passive. It's always going to come right back.
That's the levels.
It's replenishable.
You use your money for what you want. And if that means pretty girls, if that means 5 women, whatever it takes. You don't care about gold diggers.
Oh, Lord.
There's a level when it doesn't matter.
What was the comment? What was the comment you had up there, B? It's amazing how much.
Oh, no, I'll go back to it.
Oh, there it is. Amazing how many men without money are so worried about so-called gold.
Exactly. You have no gold to dig.
Arguably, though,
you work a 9 to 5, bruh.
Arguably, though, their dollars might matter more to them because it's scarcity.
Exactly. That's exactly my point.
That's exactly the point she's making.
That's exactly my point. When it's scarce and you have so little of it, you don't want anyone to take it away from you. You don't want anyone to use you for it because you had to work so hard for it.
Ooh, y'all. I feel like, and we're doing our best to be nice. I feel like we're doing our best to be nice.
I'm trying to choose my words wisely.
I think the conversation just shifted with that right there.
Yeah.
I see Chiggy said I was incorrect. You know, you can have that, bro. You can have it. I'll be incorrect.
So we got some more questions in here I want to get to in here. So one of them says, so to determine high value would depend on according to a social group.
We are a new level.
Or family unit.
Wait, to determine high value
would one depend on it according to a social group, an individual, or family unit? I think all of those things contribute to what your values are in the first place. Like, I think your family helps define what your values are at times. Where you live contributes to your values. Society, impacts what your values are, but at some point you have to get to a point of deciding which of those values you actually want for yourself.
I agree.
Yeah.
So
it definitely, those things can definitely influence it, your own, and societal things. But
and it's what you value. So if you envision your life and you want to climb the social ladder, if you're a socialite, you would probably value dating a man that's in certain social circles that can take you up with him.
Yeah.
Right. So depends on you and what you value.
And I love that. What like one of the things, like I said, I agree with a lot of the points Kevin Samuel said about high value, with the exception of how much emphasis is put on money. Because when you look at, for example, a man's social circle, it does tell you a lot about him. It doesn't necessarily guarantee that, but people tend to reflect their circle, their environment. So if these men are respectful to their women, odds are they're going to be holding him accountable to have similar behaviors. So I do look at who they hang around as a determinant about themselves. And men who don't surround themselves around men are a red flag to me. Because I think that a lot of times that they either avoid accountability. And I think that if you're around high performing men, then you are comparing yourselves in a way, not necessarily in a bad way, like as far as what you're doing professionally, where your goals are, and they don't want that. They don't want to have to deal with that. So they prefer to be alone. And I'm not talking about like loner or introverts. I just mean like truly avoid the idea of being around, developing healthy relationships with men. Like women who develop healthy relationships with women, like our professional relationship, our profession has, our businesses have grown because of our relationship, because we are intentional about who we surround ourselves with. And it says a lot about us that we've gone out of our way to make relationships with other Black women in the same industry that we're in. It says a lot about how, well, they must be collaborative because they're not even competing. They're doing the same work. So it gives you clues about a person. So if I can't see, I need more clues. I need more. I'm like,
I think a good example of what you're saying is like if a woman is dating with intention and she wants to be married, and you're dating a man that are not friends with other married men, that could be a red flag because the circle that he runs in influences his mindset. And I find that married men who are in happy marriages, I want to add that caveat, happily married men, they influence their friends who also eventually want to become a married man. Right? But if all you hang around are single men that's running the street, they got 2-3 women here and there, the likelihood of him wanting to be married is probably slim.
Right? Or at least a lot lower, right?
Yes, we got some more questions in here. Let me make sure I'm not missing them. One of them was, should financially distressed people even be dating?
I think you should date at your level. I think everyone deserves love. Just date at your level. There's ways you can plan dates and not spend any money. In fact, I was on a road trip recently, and there were so many beautiful botanical gardens that we went to and museums that we went to. And I was telling my road trip buddy, I was like, this would be a nice date. Like taking a picnic blanket and having, some Subway sandwiches in a botanical garden. And having someone that match your intellect that can have really, really good conversation. Oh my goodness, there's so many ways you can plan dates. So no, I don't think if you don't have money that you shouldn't be dating. I mean, your priorities should be focused on why you ain't got no money. But that doesn't mean you don't deserve love.
Yeah. Right. And I think it depends on what you want. Like, some people's ideal lifestyle does not require as much money as someone else either. So broke is, kind of a tricky word. Because I watch these shows. I don't know if you've ever seen these shows of like people who live off the land in like Alaska, and they do like, they got their ski dogs, and it's like, they're what they need is so different, and it's not really money that they need. They really need a person who has tangible skills to be able to help cook, provide, hunt, things like that. So I really kind of think it depends on you. But I also think that something to be mindful of when you don't have money is how much time you have to give away. Because if you do desire to grow financially, it is going to require time for you to put into your business, into your profession. And so how much time does that leave for your relationship? Do you want to be fair to your relationship? You want to be fair to yourself. There are many times where I felt like I sacrificed myself for my relationship, where I should have been focused on school. I should have been focused on my business. And I wasn't, because I was focused on, this relation, trying to be fair to the relationship I was in. And so maybe just casually dating might be better in that stage.
That's more along the lines I was thinking of. Yeah, just casually dating. Chanel made a comment.
Yeah, she
disagreed with me, but I think it's a very good comment. She said she would argue. No, Chanel.
Which one? Oh, here we go.
That no one in any sort of distress should be dating. Get yourself in good working order.
I mean, I think it's a good argument. I think I can see that point of view as well. I mean, I can see both points of view, right? So I think it is just finding I know even some people who are distressed, like that's what their mind is focused on, getting addressed. Like, so I also think it depends on the person of like, I need to get this in work in order first before I can even really think about that. Right.
Dating shouldn't be the priority,
Yeah.
but you still want companionship, right?
Somebody comes along the way while you're trying to get yourself together, maybe be open to
Right.
going on a date.
I think the word though that's powerful that I really wasn't processing quite like I am right now is distress. It's not so much you're not where you want to be financially.
Yeah.
Like
To the
distress
question.
is a different type of energy.
What was the
And
question?
should you be dating if you are in financial distress? I think was the original question.
Okay.
And I think that is a good point. Distress is
Yeah.
different than, you know, not having a lot of money. Like you can not have a lot of money, completely calm and you know, be thinking very clearly and be very healthy. But somebody who's in distress, their emotions are not necessarily regulated. They're not necessarily responding the way they normally would. So you don't really know if you're getting to know the person. You're getting to know somebody in crisis mode, and that's potentially hazardous as well. Because how will they be when things are normal?
So Chanel, the person that asked the question, clarify, and that's how I was looking at it when I initially answered. I was using it as a euphemism for broke. Yeah, so just date. I go back to my original response: date at your level, honey.
Right.
Date at your level.
Can you go to Aileen's question? I'd like to respond to her question where she's asking, do you think it's possible to meet someone close to your level and help them come up to your level? Asking for younger me. Okay, let me just give a caveat. I've been not dating in the last 20 years. I've been married almost 20 years. And so when I met my husband, I actually made more money than him. I had more assets than him. I was a, rental property owner, lots of things going on. And I think you got to look for the context clues when you are looking for who you are going to date. My husband, again, I made more money. I drove a better car than him. But my husband introduced me to his very close friends, his parents, pretty much within a couple of months of meeting him. My husband was a faithful churchgoer. My husband was a counselor. He's in education. So they told me he was a caring person. He liked kids. He had some qualities about him that were good. Things that even though I made more money than him, even though I had more homes than him, even though I had a better car than him, there were things, context clues about him that told me that he was someone that I could get to know. He was someone that I felt like I could date and potentially see where it went. So I would say when you're looking for someone, don't just look at the superficial things that the internet or that society tells us makes someone date worthy or not. So that's my 2 cents on that.
Emily, you only have 1 cent. You only have 1 cent to give.
You might find someone who is worthy of dating once you get to know.
Say that again.
I think
what happened?
Yeah, I think there's a delay in your internet, Emily.
Oh, am I frozen?
You were first. You want me to go back to another comment?
Well, actually,
you're back. I can see her.
Yeah, she's back. She's back. I wanted to say something to that one too. Wait, what was the other one that just was up there?
The one that Eileen.
Yeah. One thing I was going to say about this too, I agree with what Emily said, but I also think it depends on how big is the disparity in your levels. Because I think, and I think when you're younger, like you said, seeing some things that are promising, maybe some potential, maybe you're willing to give it a chance. You guys are both in that growing stage, right? And I know Eileen asked for younger me, but I think if you are at really different levels and you don't really see that person's mindset might not be there, or like just their characteristics might not be showing that they're headed a similar direction as you, then you might struggle trying to drag that person along to bring them up to your level. So I think it also matters how far apart you already are. What's the difference in your mindset and mentalities and characteristics about things, and what direction are they headed in?
Yeah, I think the mindset is probably more important than the actual dollar amount that's in the bank account when you're trying to assess that gap, because the mindset is what's going to move them from where they are to where they're going. So if like there are people who sabotage money, like they get money and they quickly blow it because their mindset isn't where they are. So the money in the bank account on that day isn't necessarily an indicator about how they will manage it, what they'll do with it, what their goals and their visions are for it. So I think that's like something to think about for sure. And then as Black women, I think this conversation becomes more important because we are beginning to get to a point of more women are the breadwinners in the household. And so there's this feeling of, from the man side, possibly feeling emasculated, a woman not wanting to feel like she's emasculating him or wanting to feel like she's being taken care of when she knows in her mind like she's good all by herself. Like I feel like there's these dynamics that go into place as well. And sometimes women simply want a man to make more money than her, not because she needs his money, but because she wants that feeling of, and she wants him to have that feeling. And that's, maybe that's a mindset issue that we need to work through as human beings. But I think that is a very real dilemma when it comes to women making more money than their man a lot of times.
I don't feel like my man needs to make more money than me.
I don't feel that way, but I think there are lots of women who feel like and I think that even when the women are fine with it, their men aren't necessarily. Like, I've been the breadwinner in a lot of my relationships, and it's caused a lot of like problems that like lay under the surface. And I know it really had to do with how they felt about themselves. And these are conversations they had with me later about how my success impacted how they felt about themselves. And that's not my fault. And so that, you get to a point where if you deal with that enough, you're like, I don't even want to deal with that. Like, I just want you to go ahead and just make more, so we ain't got to worry about, because I'm gonna always be striving and thriving. So you may as well come to the table with something, because
yeah, I think people have to be okay
I'm
with
not
it,
slowing
right?
down.
Like, so I think it's not just the woman being okay. I think both people have to be like truly okay with, like, in that the dynamic that they both want still has to be there. Like, it can't be, the income can't cause an issue with the dynamic of other things. And in a lot of cases, like SB is saying, it can, right? It can.
Let's see. We got there's so many comments to go through. I'm trying to catch them all. Let me know if you guys saw any particular that I missed.
Get Piggy. Date me, I'll spend your money.
Well, I want to be clear. I don't think a man has to make more money than me, because in order for me to even entertain you, we still have to be equally yoked. And equally yoked is not just the dollar figure. There's the mindset. There's the lifestyle. There's all those characteristics that I said I'm attracted to. Are you enterprising? Are you a problem solver? Are you intellectually advanced? Can you teach me things? So a man that's bringing all of that to our relationship, but he doesn't have the numbers that I have, I still see us as equals, because he's helping to, either he's protecting me, providing for me, helping me to feel safe. So he's providing something for me that I cannot provide for myself. That's number one. That's
he's bringing value to you. That's what you're saying, Malika,
right?
Which is the whole conversation.
So he will elevate my life in so many other ways that's way beyond the money.
Right.
Because once you get to a certain level with your money, the extra is just excess. It's not that you need it to live on. It's no longer scarcity anymore. Like, I have to have it to pay my bills, so I need him to bring more money to help pay my bills. You know what I mean?
It has diminishing value.
It's right. But that doesn't mean that we aren't complementary and equally yoked as a whole, because he will bring things to the table that I value.
Right.
Right.
I think that's a great way, like, to bring this conversation full circle, really, because it is about what is the value that person brings to you personally and what you're looking for. And that is beyond, for most people, beyond just money, right?
Yes.
Yeah. But the conversation always seems to focus on money. And so I do want to address this. I want us to address this, ladies. So when I made the statement that the partner you choose can have an impact on your finances, do y'all have any thoughts on that? Do y'all have any thoughts on dating a type of man, whether it's his money, his characteristics, his mindset, or whatever, dating a man that can negatively impact your finances or stifle your financial growth?
I have been there, done that, came home with the trophy and
Let's
paid.
talk about it. Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you why because I met him when I was a lot younger, and I was hearing those social tropes of like, I didn't want anybody to feel like, oh, I'm a gold digger, or I wanted whoever I was with to know I was with them for them, and so I didn't look at it like you had to have, but right, I'm young and I don't have yet a lot yet either. I'm in college, I had a lot going for me for my age, but relative to me as an adult, like I really didn't have a lot myself. And I wanted somebody to feel like I was with them for them, and that I had the confidence in them to be able to do these things. But I didn't have the wisdom yet to know what values a man, or what it would look like for a man who was going to have that. Like I didn't know what to look for now. Somebody in the comments had mentioned something about looking at his lifestyle, and we talked about looking at their friendships and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
I was 19, 20 years old. I didn't know to look for like those things were signs and clues of their ability to, or their true desire to be able to shift their lifestyle. And so it cost me a lot financially. It cost me a lot to attach myself for someone for too long who not only stifled me financially, resented my growth financially, and in a lot of ways actually literally cost me thousands of dollars. And so and when I say thousands, I mean like 5 digits. So you know it's important for you to choose somebody who is definitely not going to hold you back, somebody who's adding value. Like to me, like that's like number one. If we're going to be together, it should be a value add, and the value add doesn't have to be monetary, but your presence makes it easier for me to do the work that I do, for me to have more peace. I feel safe and more protected, and I'm enjoying the work I do more. Like your presence should add value to me in a way that impacts me financially, just because of your presence. But obviously monetarily is an obvious win-win.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm thinking about like the extreme situation, like what they show us on TV and in movies, kind of like, what's the name of the movie with, was it Baby Boy? Where he always drove her car while she was at work. He was living in her house, eating her food. Like,
yeah.
That it's not. Let me tell you how not extreme that is for me. It should have been my sign when we met. That movie had just came out, or maybe we met maybe a little bit before that, and I jokingly used to call him that.
Baby boy,
yes.
Jody.
Yes.
You dated a Jody B.
We thought that toxicity was cute. I don't know. We thought that.
Yeah. I hate you, Jody.
Thank God for growth, right? Thank God for growth and evolution. And
thank God.
Gail said you can't drive my car.
Car and everything. Now. Car to the car. All of it.
Look, eating your kids' snacks.
Yeah.
Let me find out you dated a Jody.
Absolutely.
Those are context clues. Those are context clues right there.
Right.
Let's put that comment back up. Hold on. I want to talk about that a little. I feel like I'm seeing more Black women at executive levels than Black men, and I'm wondering, do y'all think that men are as driven as women to be high income earners?
I'm sorry, I'm reading another comment in the comments.
I saw that, and I'm trying not to. That's why I paused. Yeah, I don't think that they're not.
I think they're more driven.
I think.
Do you
say what?
Emily says she thinks they're more driven.
No, I don't think it's a matter of drive at all. I think we, as Black women, let's not forget systemic oppression.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not forget the racism that we all live and experience every single day, especially in the workforce. I think our system it hinders the progression of both Black men and Black women, but I think you see the impact of it more in Black men because there are so many incarcerated. There are so many, even with college degrees, they just can't land the job. Um, you know, I have thoughts, and we probably don't have time for all of my thoughts to be unpacked. But my point is, let's not forget the impact of systemic oppression, the impact that has on our community that is separating the salary scale between us and
Ooh,
our men.
this sounds like a warm up for another conversation coming in a couple of months.
Yeah, I would need some time to flush that out because I have some thoughts about oppression.
Because I do we are planning on talking about pay gap soon, so this might be a good way to bring that back in.
Bring
so
it into that conversation
every month.
Okay, I can put a bookmark there.
Chingy, listen, we do know that we need other things too. Like, we're not dismissing the other things.
Well, hold on. Since you highlighted the comment, actually, we don't. There are things that we can buy to provide those other things. So, technically,
I want it personally. I don't know. I can't speak.
I'm just saying, technically,
I can buy it, but I don't want to buy it. Okay.
Hey, and then also the other women, our other sisters, they don't need it either. So, I mean, technically, I'm just saying.
Lord have mercy. Y'all, I really am enjoying this conversation.
Yeah. We gotta wrap it up.
But Malika brought a really good piece up, and I want y'all to come back and watch us. We go live every month on the second Monday at 7:00. So join the conversations, and we also want to know what you guys want us to talk about. We want to talk about issues that affect Black women and their finances, and sometimes and often, you know, our relationships are a huge factor in our financial stability. And that's why I feel like relationships are going to keep coming up, because who you attach yourself to is a great predictor of your success or failure. And that's whether it is your romantic relationship or your friendships as well. But our future husbands or the men we date, don't ever even marry, have a big impact on our financial health and stability. So we're going to have the conversation whether we want to or not. So so we'll come back
and pull stuff out of it for future topics for sure.
Yes. So what are we talking about wait, anybody got anything they want to add before we wrap up?
No, I think this is a good place, a perfect place to stop. We can put a bookmark right here and we can continue the conversation when we talk about the wealth gap.
All right. So y'all come back in June. You guys want to you guys have anything going on that you guys are doing in your financial coaching business before we let them go if they want to connect with you?
Actually, I am hosting a 3-day investing challenge. So if any woman, it's for women only, if any woman is watching who wants to learn how to invest so you can work less or retire early, and you don't understand how the stock market works, I am hosting an investing challenge that I would love for you to join. The challenge begins on June 10th. For 3 days, I will teach you how to build your first 100K stock market investment portfolio. So if you're interested in joining, come to my YouTube channel at Money Coach Malika, and the link will be in the description of this video. Hope to see you there.
Yes. Yeah. We got more of this. Hit the like button. I like y'all audience.
Yeah, like, what to do. Share, subscribe, all of that, right?
Come on. Listen, the fellas said they want to be in these conversations too. They coming back next week.
Hey, you're welcome to the conversation, Tiggy. Emily, Coach B, y'all have anything going on in your businesses?
Yes, we are launching the Month Ahead Fund Challenge and on July 1st. Go to www.youngrichRooted.com/month ahead for those people who are feeling like they need more peace, more space to make financial decisions, and being paycheck to paycheck is just not a life they want to live. We want to help encourage you guys to get a month ahead so that you can have the peace of a rich auntie on auto pay.
I like the rich auntie.
I love it. I love it.
Yes, at the rich auntie. Y'all sign up for the month ahead challenge.
Yeah, I have a couple of.
I don't have any challenges going on right now.
Emily.
That delay is killing
that
us.
Delay is something else.
Go ahead, Emily. You go.
I think she said she didn't have any challenges or anything going on right now.
Okay.
I was just going to mention 2 local. I'm in the Charlotte area, so I have 2 local in-person events going on that I'm participating in. I'm speaking at. So one is actually this Thursday. It's Navigating Financial Wellness for Entrepreneurs. It's a part of a program, a bigger wellness program called Catch Your Breath, and you can find out more information about that at catchyourBreath.co. That's this Thursday, and then on Saturday, June 1st, like again here in Charlotte, I'll be one of the speakers at a self-care salon that's really a curated event for Black women. We'll be talking about financial wellness and other like mental health and wellness conversations, and I'll be facilitating the money conversation. So that's also here in Charlotte, and that is on Eventbrite. Self-care salon here in Charlotte. I don't know the exact website for it.
Awesome. So that is a wrap for today, y'all. I hope y'all come back next month. I've enjoyed y'all. Y'all are fun in the comments.
Yeah, fun time.
Yeah. Y'all are fun. Y'all the whole vibe.
This was definitely fun.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Well, till next week. Next month. I'm gonna stop saying next week. We might end up listen.
Next month.
I'm
not getting on with y'all every week.
No. Like I said, no, we ain't doing it. Next month, we'll see you guys.
We ain't doing it every week.
All right. We'll see you next month. Bye, guys.
Bye.